Okay, our next method is the point system, also called the board account. And let me see if I can get this in focus a little bit. Sorry, I had to turn on the camera off for a minute. In this, what you do is you award a point system. So everybody stays in the election, and it's a point system. You get a number of points for first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and you calculate this on whoever has the largest total wins. So here's how it goes. Okay, now there are two ways you can look at this. You can look at it and start with a candidate. And notice these number outside the parentheses. These are the number of votes in the column. So for example, we'll call this column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, and column 6. Okay, so column 1 has 18 votes. Column 2 has 12. Column 3 has 10. Column 4 has 9. Column 5 has 4. And column 6 has 2. Notice that's going to be the same in all of these, because for each column there are the 18, the 12, and the so forth. Okay, but now we're going to look at this. It says in this system each first place vote is worth 5 points. So first is worth 5, second is worth 4, third is worth 3, fourth is worth 2, and fifth is worth 1. Okay, so let's look at Alan. In this column, Alan came in first. So for each of these 18 votes, he gets 5 points. In column 2, he came in 5th place. For each of these 12 votes, he gets 1 point. In column 3, he came in 5th. So for each of these 10 votes, he gets 1 point. He came in 5th in column 4, so for each of these 9 votes, he gets 1. In column 5, for each of these 4 votes, he gets 1 point. And in column 6, for each of these 2 votes, he gets 1 point. Okay. So let's look at this again and look at the next candidate. Let's look at Balter. Okay. So in the first column, Balter came in 5th. So for each of these 18 points, 18 votes, he gets 1 point. In column 2, Balter came in first. So for each of these 12 votes, he gets 5 points. In column 3, he came in second. So for each of these 10 votes, he gets 4 points. In column 4, he came in fourth. So for each of these 9 votes, he gets 2 points. He came in second in column 5. So for each of these 4 votes, he gets 4 points. And lastly, he came in 4th in column 6. So each of these 2 votes, he gets 2 points. Okay. Now what I failed to mention here is I just did the multiplication and came up with 127. When I do the multiplication here, I come up with 156. So far, Balter is the winner. Okay. Let's do the same thing for Catalin. Catalin, in column 1, he came in 4th, so for each of these 18 votes, he gets 2 points. He came in 4th in column 2, so for each of these 12 votes, he gets 2 points. He came in 1st in column 3, so for each of these 10 votes, he gets 5 points. In column 4, for each of these 9 votes, he gets 4 points. He came in 4th here, so for each of these 4 votes, he gets 2 points. He came in 2nd here, so for each of these 2 votes, he gets 4 points. and that gives you 162. So far he's ahead. Okay. Now I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. Notice each of these is the same. So for each candidate, you know they're going to have 18 votes and awarded some points, 12 votes and awarded some points, 10 votes and awarded some points, 9 votes and some points, 4 votes and some points, and 2 votes, and some points. Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and fill this in. For both of those. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go and look at Diaz. Okay, I'm going to follow the exact same process. I'm just going to look at where he fell in each of the columns. Okay, so he came in second here, he gets 4 points. Third, he gets 3 points for each of those votes. Fourth, 2 points for each of these. First, so he gets 5 points for each of these. Third, so he gets 3 points for each of these. Third, so he gets 3 points for each of these. And when you do that, you end up with 191. Eber, I'm going to do the same thing. So in the column 1, for these 18 votes, he gets 3 points for each of them. Second place in column 2, so that's 4 points. Third place in column 3, so that's 3 points for each of the 10 votes. 3 points for each of the 9 votes in column 4. He came in first, so 5 points for each of the 4 votes. And 5 points for each of the 2 votes. And that comes up with 189. So the winner for the point system is Diaz. Now there are a couple of checks and balances that you can do for this. Okay, for the 18 votes, they either come in first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So all of these numbers should be different. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In each column, you should have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So I here in this column, for the 10s, I've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So that's a good way to double check it. Now I did it by candidate, but you can also do it by column. You could just start here and say, okay, well I know in column 1 there are 18 votes, and I'm going to figure out who gets the points for those. And then move on to column 2. And there's another example on the back, and we'll do it that way. Okay. All right, now we're going to do pairwise comparisons, which means we're going to compare each candidate against every other candidate and see how many of those pairwise comparisons they win. Okay, so we're going to compare Allen to each candidate. So we're going to compare Allen to Balter, to Catalin, to Diaz, and to Eber. Everybody except him. Okay. And in each of these head-to-head matchups, there's going to be a winner. Okay. And you're going to be looking at their ranking. Whoever comes in with higher in the column is going to win the votes for that. Okay, so in this first one, Allen received the 18 votes in this column. Balter is ahead of Allen, so Balter gets these 12 points. Balter is ahead of Allen here, so gets the 10 points. Balter is ahead of Allen here and gets the 9 points. Gets the 4 points here and the 2 points here. So in this situation, the winner is Balter. Okay. So Allen did not win that head-to-head. We want to know how many Allen won. So let's do Allen versus Catalin. Okay, Allen is always going to get these 18 votes because he won that. But here, Catalin came above Allen, so Catalin is going to get those 12. Here, Catalin came in above Allen, so gets the 10 points there. He came above Alan here, so he gets those 9. He's above Alan here and gets the 4. And he's above Alan here and gets the 2. So just like here, that adds up to 37. Now, I want you to think about this. This is a very unusual situation. Alan came in first here, so Alan is always going to get those votes. But he came in last in all the rest of them, so the other candidate is always going to get the votes. So Catalin won this one. Now, not all tables are going to be set up like that, and so you need to go through the motions. Okay, so if I have Alan versus Diaz, Alan, of course, won the first column, but like we just discussed, he is below Diaz in all the others. So Diaz gets those, and those, and those, and those, and the last 2, and gets 37, so Diaz won that. If I compare Alan to Eber, it's going to be exactly the same thing. Alan got 18, but Alan lost all the rest of them, so Eber is ahead, so we can just go ahead and say that Eber got 37. So what does that mean? Alan didn't win any head-to-head comparisons. Okay, so he's not doing very well, even though he won by another method. He's not doing very well in this one. Okay, now we're going to compare Balter to each candidate. Now, the cool thing about this is notice that you have to do less and less work every time you go. Because we have already done Balter versus Alan when we did Alan versus Balter. And Balter won. This is the same thing as this one above here. But now let's look at just comparing head-to-head Balter and Catalin. Who did better? Whoops. In each column. Okay, so in the first column, Catalin did better, is above Balter, so Catalin gets 18. In the second column, Balter came in first, so gets the 12. Catalin won in this column, so gets the 10. Catalin is above Balter, even though neither of them won, but gets the 9 points there. Balter is above Catalin, so Balter gets the 4 points here. And Catalin is above Balter, so gets the 2 points here. So we have 16, we have 39, and the winner is Catalin. Okay, if I compare Balter to Diaz, that's all we're going to look at. Okay, so if I look at this first column, Balter came in last, so he's never going to get the points from there. So Diaz is going to get the 18 points from here. Balter won this, so he's going to get the 12 points. Balter is above Diaz, gets the 10 points. Diaz won here, so is going to get the 9. Balter is above here, so gets the 4. And Diaz gets the 2. Okay. So 12 plus 10 is 22, that's 26. This is 29. So Diaz wins this one. Okay. All right, Balter versus Eber. Okay. In the first column, that goes to Eber. In the second one, Balter's won that, so he's going to get those. In the third column, Balter is above Eber, so gets the 10. Eber is above Balter, so gets the 9. In this column, Eber won these last two, so he's going to get the 4 and the 2. He ends up with 36. I'm sorry, that's 33. I can't. and this is 22, so Eber wins. Okay. So how many head-to-head comparisons did he win? 1. Okay. So he still did better than the other candidate. Okay, I'm going to fold this again so that hopefully we can see all of this. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to compare Catalan. Well, I folded a little bit too early because we've already done Catalan versus Allen up here, and Catalan won. We did Catalan versus Balter, and Catalan won. So we only have to do this twice more now. Okay, so Catalan versus Diaz. All right, in the first column, Diaz did better than Catalan, so Diaz gets the 18. Diaz did better than Catalan here and gets the 12. Catalan won here, so gets the 10. Diaz won here, so gets the 9, is going to be above. Here, Diaz gets the 4 because he's above Catalan. And here, Catalan is above Diaz, so gets the 2. So this is 12. This is 43. So Diaz won this one. Okay. All right, Catalan versus Eber. Okay. In the first column, Eber is higher. In the second column, Eber is higher. In the third column, Catalan is higher, so he gets the 10, or they get the 10 votes. Catalan is higher in this column, so gets the 9 votes. Eber won the last two, so is going to get the 4 and the 2. So that's 36. That's 19. So Eber won, and Catalan won 2 head-to-head comparisons. Okay. Okay, now here, we've already done Diaz versus Allen when we did Allen versus Diaz, and we found that Diaz won. If we did Balter versus Diaz, that's the same as Diaz versus Balter, and Diaz won. In Diaz versus Catalan, Diaz won again. Whoops, and I circled the wrong one here. This is Diaz. Whoops. Okay. So now I just have to do Diaz and Ebert. Okay, in column 1, Diaz gets the 18 votes. In column 2, Eber gets the 12 votes. Eber is higher than that. In the third one, Eber gets the votes. Eber is higher than than Diaz. Boy, you say these things over and over and over again, you get tongue-tied. The next one, Diaz wins. Gets the 9 votes. Eber wins the last 2. And ends up with a total of 36 to Diaz's 27, which means Eber wins, but Diaz won 3. Okay, now we're going to compare Eber to each candidate. Well, this is really cool because we've already done all these comparisons. When I compared Allen to Eber, Eber won. When I compared Balter to Eber, Eber won. When I compared Catalin to Eber, Eber won. And when I compared Eber to Diaz, Eber also won. So by the time you get to the end, you've actually done everything. Okay, so Allen won none, Balter 1, Catalin 2, Diaz 3, and Eber 4. So the winner is Eber. Okay, let me switch videos, and I'll be right back.